I'm telling you, what a day for news today. We're going to start here. It's happening. White House just gave Congress the green light. 113 billion Americans will be affected by this. 67% of those under the age of 20, and their lives are all about to change. We're going to get into the heart of that story rather quickly here, and then I'm going to be doing a segment over on Lisa Haven's YouTube. If you haven't been there yet, please do. If you're restricted, you don't have to worry about it. The video will pop up on your feed. But for those of you not, get over to Lisa Haven's YouTube. I'll put a link above. Make sure you subscribe. I'm going to put a video up there because men beware. You have no idea what's coming. New technology unveiled by scientists that will tell your wife, and it will allow her to be able to see exactly what you're thinking. You think I'm joking? Wait till you see that broadcast. You'll find out quickly I'm not. Then exclusively only at restrictedrepublic.com today. The most important hearings in American history are now underway. We're going to cover the highlights of those hearings. Dr. Redfield coming out, many others coming out, hearing statements that we all knew a long time ago. But I guess now it's finally okay for mainstream consumption, so they're allowing it to trickle out. If you haven't been to restrictedrepublic.com, well, before we go there, make sure you're subscribed to the channel here. Make sure your bell is checked so you're alerted to upcoming broadcasts. Help me share the video. Give it a thumbs up if you like it. But again, back at restrictedrepublic.com, don't forget today, discount code FREEDOM, $5 a month for 2 years. And then 14 days for free. Got a comment yesterday once one of the new subscribers came on that he didn't realize what a value that was. I actually offered to support us more because of it. And for that, thank you so much. That's what we work so hard to do at Restricted. We're putting more and more and more material over there. No commercials, no interruptions. Audience-funded news controlled by us and controlled by you. Go ahead, tell me where else you're going to find that today. With no sponsors, no advertisers, and no backers. Guess what that means? Truth and reality. RestrictedRepublic.com. Get there today, but now let's get on with this broadcast. This story is a little bit different than what many realize, at least as of yet. You'll understand what this means by the time we're done talking here. This on the Hill, White House, no more TikTok on government devices within 30 days. That was one of the starting points. Actually, this started back with Trump, and we're going to get there shortly. But what we're going to discuss today extends far past this. Things are now transpiring that may change the future of many millions of Americans. And frankly, man, we got to deal with our teens when this happens. The Hill, I think the most fundamental piece that cuts across every one of those risks and threats that you mentioned, that I think Americans need to understand is something that's very sacred in our country, the difference between the private sector and the public sector. Who said that? Chris Wray, FBI. Of course, that's coming from the same FBI that's working with Bank of America to target gun owners. But let's just forget that, because in this case, in this picture, Chris Wray's now concerned about the difference between state-run and private. Well, as it relates to China and America, it seems to make no freaking difference whatsoever. That's a line that is non-existent in the way the CCP, the Chinese Communist Party, operates. A line that's non-existent here either, Christopher, but we'll digress for a moment. TikTok poses security concerns as Chris Wray, you heard him just state in that quote, or me state of his quote. Senators introduce bipartisan bill to give president power to ban TikTok. And, other technology. Should TikTok be banned in America? In my opinion, absolutely. If you understand the information that it is allowed to access in your device, you would throw your phone out the window as quick as possible, or at least uninstall the app, but probably too late anyway. And as he is mentioning there, the private sector in China, all that has to happen is the government has to walk in and you have to hand them all the information. And the amount of intelligence China is extracting from your device all the way down to your files, your contacts, and photos, well, it's why the government should have been concerned a long time ago about allowing TikTok, the ultimate Chinese surveillance app, to ever exist here, but that ship has sailed. They've gotten their intel. Now they are actually, our government, trying to do something about it, at least for now. Statement from National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan on the introduction of the Restrict Act. This is the actual thing we're talking about today. Senators Warren okay, I know. You see Elizabeth Warren, you get concerned. In all reality, this is actually good legislation if it passes. No matter who's involved with it, it is, however, now extremely bipartisan. It's why I'm reporting on it, because it looks like now things will actually happen. Restricting the emergence of security threats that risk information and communication technology, but there's a problem. There always is a problem. An inherent risk in everything that passes. They can't simply deal with one thing, so they go and try to envelope all foreign technology. This legislation would empower the United States government to prevent certain foreign governments from exploiting technology services in the interest of our national security. We've heard that line many times, and normally that goes somehow, in some way, in some shape, to extend right into our privacies, as it always has, and I would ascertain it will here also. Although I love the legislation, I don't like that they're going to, again, put a blanket amendment out there that could potentially ensnare a lot of other platforms. And we've seen what the government does when they have that ability. They go ahead and bundle everything into that framework and start shutting things down. They shouldn't shut down. They should have just stayed focused on TikTok. But you and I full well know that it will extend beyond that. So the White House has now reversed course and gives Congress the green light to pass the bill banning TikTok everywhere in the United States. Everywhere. This is not the first time this has happened. And don't worry, I haven't forgotten. It would outlaw TikTok in the United States as a whole, not just government devices. Trump tried to do this before. In 2020, a judge blocked him. Well, maybe now this time it will go through. Bipartisan support. Congress, being, of course, the House of Representatives, showing that they'll more than likely pass it. The Senate will pass it, and we know the President will pass it. This has the path of least resistance for the first time in a long time, because we've already seen a House panel of Republicans advance a bill to block it, to end TikTok once and for all. So I don't see any roadblocks right now outside, who knows, the Supreme Court or some federal judge attempting to step in again, affecting how many people? 113 million Americans use TikTok each month, 67% of whom are younger than the age of 20. And when this happens, what will those teens do? They have spent so much time. You'd be amazed at the amount of time they spend on this app daily, allowing it to collect information. But again, my friends, in its essence, if it was isolated only to TikTok, this legislation is long overdue. Our concern here is always the same. They go ahead and gray it up a little bit and open up to other technology. That's the side of this legislation we will have to keep an eye on, because we know in the past, when something is supposed to be specific to one company or event, it soon envelops a whole lot more. And I would expect this will be no different. But I support the move in the fact that TikTok should not exist in the United States. We should never give the Chinese intelligence in any way, shape, or form. I love you all. Make sure, again, if you're restricted, all you're going to have to do is click over to the next video. If you're anywhere else, go over to Lisa Haven's channel, watch the next video, because men, beware. It's coming. And your wife will see everything you're thinking. See everything you're thinking. I can't wait to show it to you. Until next time, Godspeed and God bless. Justus Knight, signing out.